So my purpose today is to reward your time investment today with the simplest, fastest, easiest ways to increase your sales and profits, free up your time, and create an amazing team. Today, we're really going to focus on increasing your sales and profits, talking about defining your niche, and that niche being how to have no price competition. So I'm going to put a big focus on that. A little bit about us real quick. Action Coach are the world's #1 business coaching firm, over 1,000 offices, 80 plus countries, privately owned by a serial entrepreneur. Our vision is to create world abundance through business re-education. The business education that's out there just isn't sufficient for the small business community. So we're going to re-educate the business world and create abundance. Here at ActionCOACH Bluegrass, our mission isn't so much world abundance, but just abundance in our communities that we serve. The Louisville metro area, Kentuckiana area, Northern Kentucky, where we've got clients, Owensboro, creating abundance through that business re-education. And we coach over 15,000 businesses a week. A little bit about me: 20 years in the corporate world, electronics, 16 years as a coach, global trainer. So I train new coaches. I'm a master coach. So I coach coaches, top 100 coach, top 50 coach, actually so far this year in the Action Coach out of those thousands. On the personal side, my wife, Liz, she's on here. She does all of our client care, and we've been married for 10 and a half years. My daughter, Jessica, and her husband, Rune, in Bloomington, Indiana. And then our grandson, Augustus, who's over there on the right side of the screen. We've got 4 fur kids: Scarface, Buffy, Midnight, and Pappy, all cats. And then my hobbies are bourbon, cigars, and golf. I'm going to talk about some business behaviors, actually some personal behaviors that are really, really important to master while you're working on this. So this one's called the point of power. This is a really important slide. So that red dot in the middle of that slide, we call that the point of power. That is all about your power to choose, your power to decide how you're going to behave. So you can either choose to go what we call below the point. And those are the negative behaviors: blaming others, making excuses, or as adults, we don't make excuses, we have reasons. And then denial. Don't even know I'm lying to myself. Those are the negatives. But that's a choice when we go there. We are choosing. Sometimes we actually stop and think, and sometimes it's just our natural state is to blame or make excuses or give reasons. And so we want to learn how to choose differently. We want to choose to be above that point. Choose to be responsible to do the things that are ours to do. Accountable for our results, our outcomes. Being willing to being able to be held to account. Willing for outcomes and results. So not just to do it, but to get outcome, to get the agreed upon outcomes and results. And then ownership. It's your ship. It's your job. It's your life. It's your business. No one can own it but you. And that's a choice. You have to choose to own it every day. Own every decision you make. People that spend the majority of their time below that point, and we all know somebody that way, they're powerless. They're ceding power to the world. People that choose to be above that point again and again and again, they're the powerful. So I want everybody to really commit to themselves right here and now to grab that red dot, that point of power, and really be above the point as much as possible, and commit to that, not just today, but for the rest of your life. Commit to being above that point. Failure. The only failure really is the failure to participate, because when you give 100%, you get 100%. So you've got to participate. That doesn't mean everything will always go right, because it doesn't. But it means when it doesn't, we learn from it, and then we apply the learning. I hear so many people say, oh yeah, I learned from that. It's like, did you really? Because you did it again and again and again. So you must be the smartest person on the planet. But in order to be successful and to get 100% out of your learning, you have to go apply the learning, change something, right? Doing something again and again and again, expecting a different answer. That's the definition of insanity. So we've got to participate. If you want to get 100% out of life or your business or your job, you got to give 100%. And part of that is showing up and participating. So a bit about learning. Now, to make sure you get the most out of your learning, both today in this workshop and in life, because we should be constant learners. If you want to earn more, you need to learn more. And we always need to be thinking about that. You've got to eliminate these 2 words from your vocabulary and more importantly, your thoughts, because we often don't say these out loud, but we think it. We think, I know. Or in business, sometimes we think, well, that doesn't apply to me. We may talk about something today in this workshop that you think doesn't apply to you. And I guarantee you it does. You just have to figure out how. So it may not be the exact example I use, but I guarantee you it applies to you if you're in business. So you got to get rid of the I knows. You got to get rid of that doesn't apply to me. And replace that thought. When that thought is in your head, it's so negative because it tells our brain to shut off and stop paying attention. So you got to say, isn't that interesting? So when you're thinking, I know, replace that. Isn't that interesting? Or, how could I apply this to my situation? Got to always be thinking. Our brains are really powerful, and we have to unleash our brain to help us by letting it know, hey, we're still interested in figuring this out. We don't know everything there is. And the last thing, in learning, in business, in life, you've got to be willing to have some fun. If you're not having fun in your business, you're doing it wrong, and we need to talk after this meeting, after this workshop, okay? Because it should be fun, and you're just not doing it right if it's not. So last thing you can and should expect from today's workshop, from life, from business, is BFOs, blinding flashes of the obvious. It's the Homer Simpson, dope. It's those things that were right in front of us all the time, and we just never quite understood how they fit into our lives. It's simple little things that make a big difference. And so look for the BFOs. And when you get a BFO, what do you think I want you to do? Brandy, what do you think you should do when you get a BFO?
Well, I guess when I get a BFO, it's really just working through it or kind of realizing why I didn't realize it before. And then especially if I'm working with a partner, because then my role is a little bit different with the bank than communicating that.
Yep. Share it, communicate it, write it down so that you can remember it. Excellent. Thank you. So let's think about your business. So is your business driving you and you feel like this, or are you driving your business? You know, when you're a business owner, the goal is always to be driving the business. But so many of us are letting the business drive us. We live our life to support our business instead of have a business that supports our life. And so the key is to learn about all that goes, because most people only ever have a job. Even when you own a business, most people only ever have a job. Jobs means just over broke. And that number one reason for business failure is burnout. A lot of people think it's the money. And that's reason number two. But the first is burnout, because owning a business is stressful. And our job as coaches is to help you learn how to de-stress owning a business so that you can get better results for your business, which allows you to get better results for your life, your family, your team, everybody, and everybody wins. But when it's overly stressful, it just gets harder and harder, and that's what leads to burnout. So let's talk about success in business. What does a successful business look like? So our definition of a successful business is a commercial, profitable enterprise that works without you. Doesn't mean you don't go to work anymore, but it might. But it means you can. It means you can go do other things because it works without you, because you've built it so that the systems and the teams run the business for you. So there's six steps to getting there. Last month in our workshop, we talked about mastery. Mastery is all about eliminating the chaos in 4 key areas of the business. Once we get and the output of mastery is stability. Once we have some stability, then we put our focus on niche. Now we're working on these things multiple times, but this is where our primary focus is on niche. We've eliminated the chaos, and now we're working on creating a predictable cash flow. Once we get that predictable cash flow, now we take some of that cash and we put it back into our business in the leverage phase of building our business. We're building in efficiency, productivity, systems that are repeatable to save time. And then we take that time, the owner's time now, because now we got systems in place and the owner's not heavily involved in operations and production. Now we can put our time into building the team systems, the growth systems, the management systems, the leadership systems, the hiring, the onboarding, the retention. building all the team systems that allow us to grow and scale our systems. And once you've completed that, now you bring in a general manager and you are free. You now have a business that works without you. And you can go work on other strategic things in your areas of your business, of your life, which then generate multiple income streams, or you can sell the business for a healthy profit. We have options, and that gives us results. So those are the 6 steps. And this framework applies to every business out there. Remember, if you have any questions as we're going, unmute yourself and ask. Just stop me. So that's how we get the massive results. And this model applies to every single business out there. So let's talk about them. Mastery. Mastery is all about that commercial enterprise and getting control of the chaos. And we work on 4 areas of the business in mastery to get control. Money mastery, getting control of our numbers, knowing our P&L, our balance sheet, having our financials in place, having a budget, knowing our break even, knowing our profit level, having profit goals. That's all money mastery. Doesn't mean we're profitable yet, but it means we have our money systems in place and we understand them, know how to read the reports and how to budget for them and use that. Self-mastery. Some people call that time mastery, but it's really self. It's all about prioritizing. And it's learning how to make decisions based on your priorities. So it's learning first how to set priorities and then learning how to make good business decisions and personal decisions based on your priorities. That's mastery of self. And then we got destination management. Where am I going? What are my goals? You have to know where you're going and why. Because owning a business, running a business, growing a business is hard. So we've got to know why we're doing it, where we're going with this. And then delivery mastery, which is the capacity to deliver consistently with quality. So money mastery, you got to know your historic numbers, but you also got to know the ones that will create your future. Too many business owners don't have ability to make a good business decision because of lack of information about their financials. We want to manage something, we got to measure it. So we have to know that. We have to also have future KPIs, key performance indicators. We have to set goals for revenue, for profits. We have to know what it is. So it's both knowing the accounting and then testing and measuring to keep track. We have to know the numbers that turn into money, because business is just a big math game and the scorecard is with money. Purpose of businesses are to create profit for the owner, the team, and the community's benefit. Self-mastery. Now it's about team and owner's productivity. You want to be learning about urgency, the difference between urgency and timeliness and priority. Simple things like in a business, the simple things, getting invoices sent on time, getting paid, knowing your numbers, working on the right choosing to work on the right activities to grow your business. So it's all about, when I work with clients, it's all about how do you prioritize? And then based on your priorities, how do you make decisions? Are you intentional, or do you let the world make decisions for you, or your customers decide, or your team, or your dog? You know, who decides, who makes the decisions, and what do they base those on? Are you information driven? How do you allocate your time to your business, your team, your life? It's all about self-mastery. Destination mastery. Where's your business going? Do you have an exit plan? Do you have 5-year goals, 3-year, 1-year, 90-day? So I've got 90-day goals, 1-year goals, and 5-year goals. And I have a complete definition of when my business will be done. I'll still be here, but I'll be done growing my business. It'll be done. It'll be working the way I want it to. And I can then spend my time any way I want and exit whenever I want. And remember, when it comes to your destination, what you do is not important as what gets done. All you have to be focused on, what are the outcomes? What are the objectives? What are the results we're trying to achieve? That's about our destination. What are we trying, not what are we doing? The focus is on results and outcomes, not just the activities. So we always need to establish desired outcomes, goals, annually, quarterly, monthly. What are we trying to achieve? Get really, really good at this. It'll make a huge difference in your life and in your business. master destination. And then, are you delivering consistently? Are you a world-class customer service? Because consistency is that foundation for healthy growth. We don't want to do a bunch of sales and marketing if you can't deliver your product or your service consistently, because we'll sell you into bankruptcy. We'll sell you broke. So niche, let's talk about niche for the next 20 minutes. Niche is all about creating a predictable cash flow, right? It's all about being a commercial, profitable enterprise. Our definition of a niche is having no price competition. So what that means is you can command whatever price you want, and you don't get people saying, well, so-and-so has it cheaper. So let's open up the floor here. So what are everybody's thoughts on no price competition?
It's Brandy again. I guess I look at that differently, and my role in the banking industry, everybody thinks rate matters. Obviously it does, but rate is not be all. There are plenty of situations where I have had clients and business owners walk in, and just because you're getting the cheapest rate at a different institution does not mean the deal is not cohesive for your business. So to me, price equals rate.
Yep.
I'll chime in.
Okay.
Obviously, in my industry, there's typically a lot of price competition, and 3/4 of the time, price kind of dictates how good someone is. I mean, realistically, if you pay for a cheap tax return, you're going to get a cheap tax return, and it's probably not going to be right. But definitely, I feel like when I have started to niche down, it's been really good, because, you know, I am not just the expert in tax, but I'm the expert in real estate, you know, tax for real estate agents and planning for them. So I really feel like when you get at that niche, I mean, and you specialize in it, then people start to see the value of your services in a different light. So it's easier to have the prices that sustain you and your business, and you don't have to fight for that like lowest price, because that if people that are fighting for that lowest price in business, I mean, Walmart can get away with it, but as business owners, we definitely can't get away with it, because, you know, this supports our livelihood.
Competing on price is a lose proposition. And so we want to position ourselves so we're never in it to just always try to win on price. Now, there are some industries where that's a little harder to do with banks, but Brandy's right on. It's not about rate. If that's all somebody cares about, they may not be the right customer. But oftentimes it means they're just not educated enough to know the difference. And you know what service levels exist, and the value of that to the client, the customer. Real estate is one where it's tough to be that, but so you have to, you know, it's hard to compete on price, because everybody, no one wants to be cutting their commissions. So it's hard to compete on price. But so you have to come up with other ways to distinguish yourself. And that's what this is all about. Any other thoughts on that before I go on? Okay, great. So the two keys to creating your niche are what we call unique selling proposition and guarantee. So in order to be able to be that person where you're not competing on price, you have to have your USP and your guarantee. So let's talk about USP first, unique selling proposition. So this is one of my favorite questions that I ask in networking meetings. You know, so it's your USP is the answer to the question, why should I buy from you instead of your competitor? So Kyle, let me ask you, you're in a competitive market. So why should somebody buy from you instead of your competitor?
Yeah, well, I was kind of going to chime in on that last part as well. We focus more on competing on value rather than the price, which I think kind of relates to this as well. Just being an expert in like a certain market, personally, I work with young adults and business owners. So when those people come to me and they have questions and I take them through, you know, our process, it's kind of obvious that we're going to provide a lot of value, rather whether or not we're in that price range they're looking for or not. And, you know, we just work with people in general and their whole plan, their whole everything they have going on, rather than just kind of competing on price or anything like that.
Right, because in some markets, it's hard to be price competitive. You got to cheapen down, and it's that unique selling proposition. So why should they come to you instead of somebody else?
I think just being an expert and showing the value, you know, with the experience I have and the knowledge I have, just being able to show them that,
Okay.
and just working with them and helping them out in my industry, at least.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So Chris Mattingly, why should somebody come to you instead of going to the competition?
Well, service and being, you know, professional and being there to answer their questions. That's something that, you know, I've been doing for a long time, and I hang on to my customers for that reason, my clients. Pricing in the credit card industry, part of my business is, you know, insane. So there's always somebody out there who's calling up and saying, oh, I can beat that, or I can beat that. But, you know, you have to have trust, and that's what I try to develop.
Okay. All right. Shanna, how about you?
Yes. I actually have a health and wellness business.
Mhm.
I actually let it go a little while ago, but I'm thinking about restarting it. And the question is why would someone come to me?
Yeah, why would they buy from you instead of your competition?
Well, number one, I was always mobile. So if someone needed help or wanted to know more about the products and how they worked with their body, I would do phone conferences. I would go and set up tea parties at their home or different offices so they could bring several people and do presentations. I was available. I also set up appointment times. So I just tried to make myself extremely available to them. And I would also do a call a week just to check in with them and see how the product was working and if it was to their satisfaction.
Okay, great. Some good answers. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for asking.
So, so the key is, you know, it's that always being able to answer that. And if part of your answer to it is service, let me just tell you, that by itself is not a great answer, because there's very few businesses out there that think they have poor service, right? And the standards. So you have, if good service or better than the other service is what you think makes you unique, you have to be able to quantify that and really spell that out. Because otherwise, if I was asking you, if I was meeting you at a networking meeting, and one of my favorite questions is, so why should I buy from you instead of, you know, guy across the street? Well, our service, you know, that just gets an eye roll because everybody says that. So you have to go deeper than that. And what is it about your service? And describe it in a different way so that it has more impact of the value you bring. Because I heard a lot of confidence in the value you bring in your answers. Just be careful not to use that word or customer service, because every business owner I've talked to in the last 16 years thinks that that's their number one. So make sure you can quantify it and describe it in a way that's more value added, more tangible to them, and they immediately see, oh, that's different. I want that.
Can I ask you,
Mhm.
the fact that I customize each set of products as well as a meal plan for each person, is that still considered just customer service?
No, that's exactly what I mean. That's a specific thing you do. So instead of saying I give good customer service, it's I create an individual meal plan. It's personalized, it's individual. So that, you know, and if that's something that not all of your competition does, then that's a value that you're bringing out. So that's one aspect of your service that's concrete and tangible that I can think, yes, I would value that, versus just saying, my service is better than everybody else's. You got to tell me how it's better, because I don't understand. And by the way, all your competition says they've got great service too. So by quantifying it and defining it that way, that helps. So absolutely, yes, that would be part of building into your USB.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So then the second part is your guarantee. So guarantee, and I do not necessarily mean money back. Okay. There's some industries you can't do that. There's some you wouldn't want to do that. But the purpose of the guarantee is helping your client, your prospect, believe that doing business with you is safe. So the guarantee lowers the risk of them making a mistake hiring you or purchasing from you. So it's thinking about, and we've got a process we go through with our clients to build our USP and build our guarantees so that we can communicate these better and worry less about price and sell on value. And the guarantee, it lowers the risk. So it's like, what do people worry about the most when they're going to buy your type of service? That it's not going to work for me, or I won't get a good return on my investment, or something, right? It's what are they worried about in the back of their mind about making this decision to make this purchase of a product or service, or to enroll in a coaching program? What are their fears? And the guarantee takes those away. So when you're working on your USP, you generally we can find several, and it's about finding the ones that will encourage people to actually make a buying decision. So which one is the market going to buy? It may also, and it also might be something that's not truly unique. Other people may offer the same thing, but it might be one of those best kept secrets that nobody knows about your industry, right? Think about all the beer commercials we've heard over the years, and how many different times. If you go back to the 1920s, you'll find that about every other decade, one beer or another latches onto some version of cold filtered water to make our beer. Schlitz did that first back in the 1920s. And everybody was like, oh my gosh, Schlitz must be the best beer on the planet. Well, every beer, every alcohol, every spirit is made starting with cold filtered water. It's ingredient number one. Nobody knew that. So they claimed it, and then everybody else has said, well, we use cold filtered water too, was just a copycat. And over the years, multiple beer companies have done that. You see it, I can't remember the name of the company, but Olympia Beer did that. Artesian Wells, Coors, mountain fresh water, right? So there's all the different varieties, but everybody uses cold filtered water. It's how you make beer. It's how you make bourbon. It's how you make everything, right? So it may not even be unique, but if no one else has claimed it and people don't know, you can claim it. Whoever claims it first owns it. You can try different headlines, to see what ones work. You can use social media. You can use email blasts with different subject lines to figure out which ones resonate more, which ones get more clicks, which ones get more opens, to know that, that one resonates more, and you work that into your marketing. Another way to eliminate price competition is to be innovating. Always be ahead. Once your product or service becomes a commodity, it's harder to drive that. And so you have to innovate. Sometimes you can innovate your product. Other times you have to innovate how you deliver your product, how you support your clients. That's service, right? It's how do we innovate on service? Because the more we're innovating, the more early adopters and early majority we're getting, and we have more pricing power then. So guaranteed, we could talk about this is what we're dealing with: customers' key frustrations, plumbers who arrive late, contractors who leave a mess. Most countries, you have to replace your work anyways. So why not promote it? If you do guarantee your service, promote it. Let people know, even if you're, by law required to, that's okay. Use it, market the fact that you do guarantee it. You set the rules of the guarantee. Make sure you can deliver it. You can make a multiple points. So some industries, you're not allowed to say things like guarantees. So you might have so like I work with a lot of medical practices, and we'll have patients' bill of rights. That's our guarantee. We're guaranteeing the experience they'll have, experience how they'll feel while they're in the office, how we'll communicate with them. All the things that they worry about, we just say, hey, you won't have those problems with us. And again, we've got our USP and guarantee system for developing those. So any questions about USP and guarantee before I go on and show how we use it? All right, great. So the way we use it is what we call the 5 ways chassis, or the 5 ways profit chassis. And every business is built on this chassis, whether you know or not. And you can either build a practical car, like a Volkswagen Golf, or you can build an Audi R8 sports car. They're built on the same chassis. The car manufacturers do this all the time, build multiple cars on the same chassis, from a low-end family sedan to a high-end speedster. They're built on the same chassis. Businesses are the same way. So most business owners only know about or really think about how many customers they have, what their revenue is, how much profit they make. But those are just all the results. And so when we're trying to grow, those are the outcomes. And we do need to know those and measure those. But where all the leverage comes from is knowing what the inputs are to these outputs. That's where it gets fun. So the inputs are the 5 areas in blue. So we see customers, revenue, and profit, but we've got the number of leads. Then our conversion rate, what percentage of those leads choose to buy from us or enroll in a coaching program. And we've got the number of transactions. How many times do they buy from you a year on an annualized basis? Some buy from you once, some buy from you every week. Average dollar sale, how much do they spend on average each transaction? And that gets us our customers times the number of times they buy times the average they spend. That's our revenue now. And then your profit margins. And if you've got product, you've got gross margin, and you've got net margin. So you've got multiple ways to work on margins, and that's what turns into profit. But the key is we can't just get more customers. We have to understand that getting more customers is more leads and a better conversion rate. And then getting more revenues, it may be we can get more revenues just with the customers we have by getting them to do more business with us, raising our average dollar sale. Brittany, we raised our prices this year, and we put some packages out which increased transactions. You don't even need more customers, and you already increased your revenue for the year, right? By doing that. So let's look at the math. Again, business, just a big math game. So let's look at the math. So this is a plumbing company. They get 4,000 leads, 4,000 calls a year. 25% of them hire them to do a job, so they get 1,000 customers. They did 2,000 transactions last year, so they know that their average number of transactions was 2. A lot of their customers just did 1 transaction with them last year, but some did 10. But the average was 2. They did a total of 2,000 jobs last year. So we know our average number of transactions is 2 from 1,000 customers. We know they spent on average $100. Some was 50, some was 1,000, but our average was 100. because we knew we had $200,000 in sales. Our QuickBooks told us that. We knew we had 1,000 customers, so or 2,000 jobs. So we divided that, and we knew our average sale was $100. So that was our starting point. Then we knew we had a net profit of 25%. So our net margin was, or our net profit at $50,000. So our profit margin was 25%. And this is where it gets fun. This is where we can use our USP and guarantee to increase our profit. Let's talk through how we do that. So the goal, as you're growing your business, the goal is to increase each of these areas by 10%. So we want to increase our leads from 4,000 to 4,400. So what are some ways we can use our USP and our guarantee, our niche, to do that? What are some thoughts? So what are some of your lead marketing? Where do you get your leads from? Go ahead and unmute yourself. Where do you get your leads from?
Friends and family.
Friends and family. Okay. Word of mouth, right?
Right.
Okay. Where else?
Previous customers.
Yep. Previous customers.
COIs.
Centers of influence. I assume that's what you mean by that.
Correct.
Yep. Okay. Where else?
Niche influencers.
Influencers. Yep. In your niche. Yep. Okay. So if you have a great USP and a guarantee, do you think that would help, and you educate your clients, your friends, your family on those, and they really see the value, do you think that will help them be even better at spreading word of mouth, spreading their influence to get you more business?
I believe so.
Yeah, I would say yes as well. Usually at the end of our meetings, I will, literally ask, did you see value in what we went over today, what we talked about? And I mean, most people are going to say yes, regardless, to be nice, I guess you could say. But if they say no, you could just say, why? What could I do better? And then kind of go through that with them. And it makes you more referable in general, I think. To answer that first question, word of mouth is also a big kind of lead source for me, at least.
Yeah. I think for pretty much everybody on here, word of mouth is going to be probably a primary source of, just referrals from clients, from referral partners, strategic partners, and it's all about educating. So the more we educate them on our unique value, the things that are real differentiators, and really think about it, and with our centers of influence, with our referral partners, is have an honest conversation with them. Is this really a value add? When you talk to other people about what I do, does this really resonate with them? Make sure that it actually works. Get that feedback, and then measure. If word of mouth is it, make sure you've got to formalize your word of mouth. Remember to ask for referrals, right? So many people rely on word of mouth but they don't ask for referrals. They just hope people talk about them. Don't just hope. Help people talk about them. Give them the words. Give them your USP and guarantee as what they should go talk about you about with others. Makes it easier to refer you. Then conversion rate, increasing that 10%. Remember, 10%, that's not going from 25% to 35%. That's just literally a 10% improvement to 27.5%. Again, your conversion rate, if it will be significantly higher if people understand the value and see how you've lowered the risk with your guarantee. It lowers the risk of making a bad purchasing choice or a bad decision to enroll in the wrong coaching program, buying the wrong product or service, hiring, taking on the wrong realtor or banker. It lowers that risk. And it's things that they're afraid of. So that will help us. So on the USP, using the USP and the lead and guaranteeing the lead generation gets us more and higher quality leads as well, which convert at a higher rate. And then that guarantee in particular helps remove the fear of making a mistake when they decide to do business with you. So now we've got 10% more clients, right? Actually, no, we've got 21% more clients because this is math. They multiply. So just working on those two things, we've got 21% more clients now. If that's all we did, that goes straight down to 21% more profit, 20% more sales. Number of transactions. Once they see the value, now you can make sure they understand everything that you can do for them. Again, that might be part of your USP, is that you offer more than one level of service and product. That you can help them with multiple areas of their business, of their life. And that increases. It's all about educating them on the different levels, the different options you have for them, different opportunities you have for them to grow, to improve their life, to use your products or services. So that's the biggest way to increase number of transactions, is just educate your customers and your database. Educate them on everything you do. Nothing worse than finding out one of your best clients bought something that you sell from your competitor because they didn't know you sold it. Got to educate, educate, educate. Then average sale. If you have a USP and it's clear and it's valuable, you can raise your price. In most industries, there's pricing power. In some, there's not. But in most, there is. But you've got to bring the value. And you've got to be great at communicating the value. And you've got to be able to guarantee that their decision to enroll with you wasn't a mistake. Now look what that does to our sales. From 200,000 to 292,000. 46% increase. And all we've done is utilize our niche to get a few more leads and higher quality leads, which then gets us a few more higher quality sales with people that will buy from us more often and spend a little more each time. Profit margins are just that. That goes back to money mastery. You just got to know your numbers and you got to work your margins. Increasing your prices obviously does that, but you've got to know your margins. And when you work your margins, you can almost always find 10%. So that net is now a $30,000 increase in this fictional business. 61% increase in profits, 46 in revenue. So what would you do with an extra $30,000 or 61% more profit? You know, get a new car, go to the beach, get a room with a view. What do you do with the extra hours that frees up? Because when your niche is working well, that starts generating cash flow and it frees up time because you stop chasing dead leads. You stop chasing poor quality leads. You stop chasing the people that don't value what you do. And you spend more time with the people that do. And it naturally, you start making better decisions and it starts to free up your time. What are you going to do with that time? Spend it with your family, your friends, and celebrate with your team. Those with the team, celebrate with them. They're a part of this. Warren Buffett, and he was saying this about investing and how to get wealthy. You don't need to do extraordinary things to get extraordinary results. You need to do the little things consistently over time because it's all math and a lot of it multiplies. And it's how you get there, a step at a time. You don't need to do amazing breakthrough things. You need to do little things consistently and then constantly improve. Kaizen, the art of constant incremental improvement. Don't need big improvements, just need tiny because it all fits together and multiplies your results. Once we've mastered our niche, now it's all about leverage, systemizing. This is that commercial profitable enterprise that works. It's all about systems. Leverage is systems, saving yourself time, energy, and money. It's 9 steps to systemizing a business. Vision, mission, culture, or core values. People always forget this. That's a key part of the systems working in your business. Then SMART goals, organization chart, position descriptions, key performance indicators, the metrics, measuring. Now we put in the how-to systems, the procedures, and then the leadership and management infrastructure. Next month's workshop is going to be all about leverage in your business. We'll take a deeper dive into this. Now we get into team, structuring for growth. Now it's that commercial profitable enterprise that works without you. So let's think about your team. Most employees are motivated, energetic, committed, enthusiastic, and loyal. Except for the 8 hours a day they work for you. One of my favorite quotes from Tom Peters, great author and speaker. So we'll build your team. so that it works. What we call the cycle of business works, where get to the point where at the team level, you, the owner, all of your efforts, your energy are focused on providing your team with the tools, the resources, the training, and the environment so that they can provide your customers with an incredible customer experience. So your job is to take care of the team so that the team can take care of the customers. And when you do that, your customers take care of your business by coming back for repeat sales, and they bring their friends with them. And that allows the business to grow, which then takes care of the owner. But too many times the owners worry about taking care of the business, taking care of the customers, taking care of the team. And it's really getting the team, building it so that the team takes care of the customers. When that's working, the customers take care of the business, which takes care of you. 6 keys to winning teams. Winning teams have these 6 characteristics: strong leadership, common goals, rules of the game. Everybody knows and plays by the rules of the game. There's an action plan. Everybody knows who does what, when it's due. You support risk taking. They try stuff, knowing the rules of the game and the goals. Because we got strong leadership, we can take risks, small at first, bigger later, but we try stuff. And then 100% involvement and inclusion. People that should get involved with something, they do. And when there's something going on, the team includes whoever needs to be involved. So it's not everybody involved in everything. It's the right people. Always get involved and go get the people who need to be included. That's how winning teams behave. We'll talk more about team in April. Winning teams know how to get the right people on the bus in the right seats. I'm working with some clients now who've got some good people, but they're just in the wrong seat in the company. We're looking to move into a seat that's a better fit for them. And then synergy. Hire general manager, put the business on autopilot, and you're just monitoring the dials now. And then you can go off and do other strategic things, either in your life or business. Open another business, open another location, buy out one of the competitors you're putting out of business. Once you learn to run one business successfully, there's no reason you can't run any number of businesses at the same time. The principles are the same. Never wish your life or your business were easier. Wish that you were better. All we can do is we can get better ourselves. You got to learn more to earn more. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Keep getting better, because your job or your business can only be as good as you are. So if you want it to get better, you've got to get better. And then you got to take action. You got to learn. Then you got to take action. Where you be 5 years, a lot of, the old saying is depends on the books you read and the people you associate with. And what you do, you got to take action. It's not just read books and do nothing. Read a book and do something with it. Hopefully you're ready, you business owners on here today, that you're ready to take action. Research shows that over 85% of people who attend workshops or webinars leave and do absolutely nothing with what they've learned. My goal for this is that 100% of you take action now. 2 things you can do. You can just go try to improve things on your own, hope it'll get better. Or if you really want to get there faster and smoother with less stress, then let's talk what your options are. If you're committed to growth, we offer one-to-one coaching. That's typically for businesses with 5 or more employees. When you get that big, it becomes pretty affordable, $1,700 a month and up. And we always start with an alignment consultation where we work on your destination mastery. Where are we going? So that all the actions we take in the business and decisions we make are in alignment with where you want to go in your life. For smaller businesses with 5 or fewer employees, we've got group coaching with up to 4 peer business owners in a group. It's easily affordable, $300 or $600 a month with a $500 alignment consultation if you choose to think about planning your future. If we're attending today, my team's gift to you is, if you've got fewer than 5 team, a 45-minute strategy session where we'll brainstorm on your top 1 or 2 activities that you need to work on. Basically, top 1 or 2 challenges, spend 30 to 45 minutes talking about how to do that right now. If you've got more than 5 employees, then we need to do a full diagnostic on your business, on you and your business, and identify the 3 to 5 areas to focus on for profit, for performance, and for growth and peace of mind for your business and your life. If you want to do either one, really, it's book your session today, complete the questionnaire I'll send you by the end of the day tomorrow. And then when we talk, be prepared to make a decision if you think if coaching is a good fit. When we're done with the strategies, I am going to ask you, I'm a coach, I am going to ask you whether you think coaching will help you get there faster with a good return on investment. Be prepared to make a decision, yes or no. But we will come up with strategies, and then we'll talk about how to implement the strategies. One way is yourself, one way is with a coach. Working with your coach, you learn how to generate more cash flow, more profit, more teamwork, more free time, less stress. One of the things I can guarantee is that 12 months from today, you're going to arrive. The real question is where? Are you going to arrive still at that place where your business owns your life? Or are you going to be in that place where your business supports your life? The choice is up to you.